Yeah. Today we will learn about forms. Okay. Till yesterday you are clear, right? What I have explained, like block level elements, inline elements, bookmarks, semantic and non-semantic elements, and iframes. If you have any doubts, you can ask me before starting with that. Else we'll continue with the next HTML elements. Okay. Then we'll start with the forms. So what is a form? Actually, form is used to collect all the user inputs. So that is like sent to the server from the for processing. So forms consist of what? Input type text, input type text, and radio buttons and drop downs. So generally for registration forms or login forms, we'll use these forms. So for username and password,
ప్రియాంక అక్క
yes.
స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయరా?
Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. You able to see my screen, right?
నాకు ఒక డౌట్ అక్క.
Yeah, tell me.
ఐఫ్రేమ్స్ లో ఒక వెబ్ పేజ్ లో ఇంకొక వెబ్ పేజ్ డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది కదా,
అవును.
అప్పుడు ఎస్ఆర్సి లో ఒక పేజ్ ని లోడ్ చేస్తాం కదా,
అవును.
దాంట్లో నేను యాంకర్ ట్యాగ్ యూజ్ చేసి క్లిక్ చేస్తుంటే పేజ్ లోడ్ అవ్వట్లేదు అక్క.
యాంకర్ ట్యాగ్ ఐఫ్రేమ్ లో యాంకర్ ట్యాగ్ ఏం యూజ్ చేయొద్దు, జస్ట్ ఎంటీ.
ఐఫ్రేమ్ లో కాదక్క, అక్కడ ఎస్ఆర్సి లో ఒక పేజీ ఇస్తాం కదా,
అది మీరు యూఆర్ఎల్ ఏమైనా తప్పించుంటారు. మీరు ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఆ పేజ్కి వెళ్ళి ఆ పాత కాపీ చేసుకొని పెట్టండి. ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గా
చేశాను అక్క అలాగే ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గా.
నేను క్లాస్ అయిన తర్వాత ఒకసారి కనెక్ట్ అయిదాము, నేను చూపిస్తాను మీకు.
సరే,
ఓకేనా? ఒకసారి నాకు పింగ్ చేయండి క్లాస్ అయిన తర్వాత, కాల్ కానీ పింగ్ అని.
సరే,
ఓకే.
ఒకసారి చూపిస్తావా లేకపోతే అని అందుకని.
నేను చూపిస్తా. మామూలుగా అయితే అలాగే ఇస్తారు. ఐఫ్రేమ్ సోర్స్ ఈక్వల్ టు నేను నిన్న ఎలా తీసుకున్నా, జస్ట్ ఇట్లా కాపీ చేసుకున్నా, పాత కాపీ చేసుకుని అక్కడ పెట్టేసిన. సో ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గా అది కరెక్ట్ గా ఇస్తేనే వస్తుంది.
అయితే అలా ట్రై చేస్తా. పైన కాపీ చేయలేదు నేను,
అలా కాపీ చేయాలి.
అంతే.
మీరు ఇలా ఇచ్చుంటారు www.google.com అట్లా ఇచ్చుంటారు కదా. మామూలుగా HTTP అవన్నీ రాలేవేమో, ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకోండి.
సరే.
ఓకే. So in the registration forms or login forms, we generally see like first name, last name, those comes under the input type text. And for the gender, like it's a male or female, we'll be selecting from the radio buttons. And drop down means you can select the city name or country name from the drop downs. And apart from that, what we will use like comments. This is for checkboxes, sorry, text area. You can give your comment up to 200 to 300 text length, so that also we can control with the comments text area. And we'll be having the checkboxes. So checkbox is to check like you agree the terms and conditions. So two checkboxes will be there. Now you can select one of that. So for that purpose, these checkboxes will use. And basically, and buttons. There are two type of buttons, like submit button and reset button. So submit button is to, after filling all these fields, when you click on submit, right, the data should submit to the backend. So for that reason, submit button can be used. We can use the submit name, button name as like a login, register kind of thing. Okay, you can say this as button or submit also fine. Reset means suppose you have filled the form and you want to empty that all the fields without manually going to every field and doing like this, like clicking on delete or backward space. Just we will use this reset button. Okay, so first we will see like how the form should look like. So form also element only. We'll create a new element, new file. Close the head tag and open the body tag, close the body tag and close the HTML tag. So now we are learning about the forms, right? I will save it as save as forms and save as type hypertext markup language. Okay, now you can create a form. Form should be open tag form, and it should be closed. Form tag should close, and inside that you can give the input types. So input type means for input also you can give like this. This is also tag only input, and first name and last name generally will be showing it as text only, no? So input type, what is the type of the input? Because there are different type of input types. It can be a input type equal text, or input type equal to radio, so input type equal to number, input type equal to email. So we learn more about that input types. Okay, first I'll writing like text box. So basically, this input type equal to text. That first name, last name will be text. Now that's why I'm giving, and close that. And placeholder also you can give. Placeholder you can give. Please enter your first name. Please enter your first name in double brace. Okay, like this. And for the last name also you can give like this. But we'll check these forms again. No, HTML tutorial. This one forms. Open with Chrome. Yeah, you can see here, this is the input text box, and this is the placeholder, and you can inspect here. This is the input type text, placeholder is this. So when you enter on it, automatically when you are typing something, that placeholder will remove. So that is the use of placeholder. If you are not using the labels, right, placeholders will be useful to tell to the user like what is the use of the text box. And we should follow the labels also, because it is a standard. Like we should have a label, and what is the purpose of the table. So SEO and screen readers also need this actually, a label, because screen readers will read like this: label for first name, and here the for and the ID should be matched. Here you should give for equal to, for what purpose this label? For first name, right? So first name, and here you can give the label name as first name, and close the label. Okay, and the this for and this ID should be same. Input type equal text, ID equal to, copy it should be same. Okay, like this. Now we will check how it is coming. Yeah, you can give like this. This is the first name, this is the label, and this is the input text box, this is the placeholder, and all we are wrapping inside the form. You can expand the form, and you can see the elements which is inside the form. Now we'll create a one label and another text box for the last name also. So copy this, give a break tag here, and this is the last name. And as I told you, this last name, this for and ID should be same. Save it and check. So this is how it look like. So you want more gap, give the breaks, or else we learn about the margins and padding in the CSS to give. So like this, the form should be. Okay, how the button look like? Input type equal to submit we should give. So what is the use of this label? So label tag defines the label for the form element. Okay, it defines the label for form elements, and this element is useful for the screen reader users, because the screen reader will read it out the label when the user focuses on the input. So as I told you, screen readers are used for people who are blind, or uh, who has a disability. So those will read our website with the screen readers. Generally, they will collect. I will show you that thing. Screen readers. Screen readers. So like this, they will connect a device to that, and they will listen by adding the headphone to that. So because they can't see, right? So they will only listen. So screen readers will read the website line by line. This is how it should look like. They will attach some device to it and add the headset. You like this. Speech recognizer, audio output via synthetic language, screen reader for software. So that device they will connect, and they'll also connect some headset, and then they will read. So for screen readers, we must have everything proper, labels or area labels or alternative text. Nowadays everyone is developing the website with full accessibility. That is called accessibility. Whatever we are writing, right, labels, area labels, what is the purpose of some buttons, so everything it should be neat way. Okay. And this label element also help users who have difficulty clicking on very small regions, such as like radio buttons or checkboxes, because when the user clicks the text within the label, right, it toggles the radio button. So we'll create a one radio button also with this, and we'll see. And what is the use of for? So this for attribute of the label tag should be equal to the id attribute of input element to bind them together. Then only it will read like label for the first name, and for input text box, like that it will read. Input text box label for first name, like that it will read. Okay. And we'll create one radio button also. So how it should be? Input type equal to radio. First we will give the break tag here and copy it. Here also we are creating the label for gender. Input type equal to radio and name equal to. So actually we have if it is gender, right, we'll be having the male and female. Input type gender, and we don't have the placeholder for the radio button. Input type equal to radio and name equal to gender it is male, and value equal to male, and another input radio for female. This name should be equal in the input type text. This name should be equal, and this is female. If the name is equal, then only one of the radio button will be selected. If it is different, right, we are able to giving the chance to the user to select the multiple radio buttons. I'll show you. See, if you are selecting the male, it is only one item should be selected at a time. If you are selecting the female, then male is automatically unchecked. So if you are giving the different name, right, this input radio, then user can select both the things. We are changing the gender to the gender one. So that name is here gender one, it is gender. So now user able to select the both. But if you want user to select only the single one, give the name as same, so that user can select only one, either one of that. Okay, that is the use of this name. This name should be equal. Okay, and coming to the checkboxes. So generally, why we will be using the checkboxes? Checkboxes is for like to select to, like you can have this statement like I agree with the terms and conditions after reading the document. At the end we can put here, right, in the registration forms. For that purpose we'll be using this check boxes. You can copy this label, and this is for comments, comments, and you can copy this here, comments, instead of writing it again, comments. And input type equal to, this is a checkbox, checkbox you should give, and id is a comments, and we don't have the name here. If you want, you can give name equal to comments, value equal to, by default if you want to show something you can give here, or else you can give an empty space here, comments. Actually we created the label comments, right? We here we don't have the text here. So now you can check input type equal to checkbox. Here you can check input type equal to checkbox. Here not comments, agree terms and conditions. Terms you can use for terms, sorry, spelling mistake, terms. Mommy. So like this, agree terms and conditions, and the value is input objects, and the value is terms. Okay. And for this one, we don't have the break here. It's not looking good. You can give side by side so that it looks good. And you can place the checkbox over here. Generally, that checkbox will be at the left side, right? You can change the position with the floats property. Okay, and submit button. So if you're having like this, if you want some button, right, to submit the form, input type equal to submit, and value, what is the value for the submit? Submit only, means what is the text you want to show on the button, that is the value, submit, and save it here and check submit. And you can change the content also, like register, register. So like this, you can create a form, and to where our form should submit, means generally once the user fill this text, right, for F name, last name, and female, agree terms and conditions. So when you submit this, right, we should create a post request for that to submit the data at the backend. So generally that we can do with the action property. Here we should give the action property, and we can do it in the two ways actually. First, with the HTML way, here you can give the URL over here, so that the form will submit to that page, or else in the JavaScript only we'll create a new HTTP request, and with that request we are creating the post method, we are using the post method to submit all of this data. Okay, as of now we are learning HTML only. Here you can give the URL, that URL is will be provided by the backend developer, so you need to add here, so that this form data will be submitted there. Okay, that is the use of input type submit. And I told you like a reset, right? So reset also will create. So after this you can create input type equal to reset. So what is the use of reset? If you are filling the form, instead of removing everything manually like this, so here I am entering F name, L name, female, and this one. So if you are clicking the reset, right, the form data automatically resetted. That is the use of reset. Okay, and you can also style this form, like you can create a border and you can give the paddings, And this label you can give the font weight bold so that it looks neat. Font weight bold. Okay, for all the labels we'll give, it should look like. Copy this label. For the tag name we'll be applying the styles. Font weight bold, and you can give any color or font size. Font size 20 px, and you can give a color or background. And for the form you can give light blue color form, light blue background, light blue, and you can give the color as black or dark blue. And for the input types and text you can give the padding. First we will check how it is coming, then we will apply the styles accordingly. Yeah, you can check here, it is coming like this. If you want the input text should be that is also looks somewhat bigger, if you want, then you can apply the padding over here. Padding for the input, padding. If you want all the sides, just give the one property 15 px, so that will come like this. Or else you want less than 8 px. And if you want the border radius, right, the rounded corners, then you can use border radius property, border radius 5 px. And the border color, what color you want? Border color dark blue. And the border width also we can mention border width 1 px only, because it is looking too thick, right? So you can, it is, if it is fine, right, you can copy the styles. Sorry, copy the styles and you can paste here. So for the input type text, right, and we can write the styles with respect to the attribute also. So we have the like input type radio, input type checkbox, input type submit, input type text, these all there, right? If you are directly giving the tag name input only, right, it will apply for every tag, like for the checkbox, for the radio, for the text also it will apply. But I need for the input type text only, I want to apply some styles. So that time I have to give like this, in the square braces, type equal to, in double quote, text, and close the double quote, and you can apply the style. If you want some styles specific to the input type radio only, then you can give input type equal to radio, background should be this, like that you can mention. So if you are writing the input type text, the tag name, right, all the input type text style, this style only will apply. So we are writing only once and we are using many times, so this style will apply for the first name, last name as well. Save it and we will check. See, now it is coming, looking good. And the radio button styles also we can change. And this text area also you can change. You can give the padding 10 px or 8 px, background red. What is this? Input type checkbox, no? We need to add the custom css to apply all this. For the input type radio and input type text, we should use some custom styles. So the default styles it won't apply, custom styles we should give. I will tell you more detail about on this. Now I want to apply the styles for the buttons, right? Input type equal to submit. So for the button I need padding 10 px. I need this, and I want padding. I already told you padding is nothing but the inner space in like below the border. And background I need register, means it will be success, right? So green color, I want to, or blue color you can give blue, and text color you can give it as red, white, and border color also you can change border 1px solid, shorten method and game solid. Which color I want? Blue, blue or else black, black, and I want border radius like rounded corners I need. Then border radius 5px. So like that we should give styles. Now copy this and paste it here. And this styles is for what? Input type equal to submit. And this styles are for input submit, right? You can use this input type equal to submit. Copy it, paste it here, and you need to give the square braces for this. Square brace open and square brace close, and open the curly brace and give that tab here. Text indent you should give. For that you should click on tab so that it will look neater, the code. Okay, input type equal submit these styles, and for reset we can apply the another styles. So our styles are applying now. Now I want to apply for the reset. Reset means it should be like a red color. Copy it. So one thing I want to tell you here. So padding, border and border radius. These three properties also. These three properties I want to use it for the input type reset also. So if you want to apply for the another element, just give comma over here and input type equal to reset we should write here, so that this will be same for both the elements. Input type equal to reset. Save it and check. So like this. The same styles only, but I want the background color red color for the reset. So for that you can write the separate style here. Background I need it as red color. Background red, like that you can give, and you can give some spacing for the form, because it should not take the 100% width, it should take the width like this much only. That time you can give display inline block. Okay, because the form is by default a block level element, but I need only how much width it should take. That time you can manually give display inline block, and I want some padding around that. Padding 30px. So like this you can set. And for the form you can copy the styles, and for the form only we are giving, right? You can give form, and inside that you can give the styles. Now I want the buttons should be center aligned. So refresh it. Now I want this button should be center. So that purpose you can give like input text align center. You should give text align center, or else in the form, for the form you can give text align center. So all the elements in the form will be text align center. If you want only the register and reset only, I want it in center, then you can create a div container for this two elements. Then for the div you should give text align center, because if you are giving the text align center for the entire form, it won't look good like this. You can make like you can remove the text align center for the form, and we will take a container to hold this register and reset buttons. Okay, so I'm wrapping this submit and reset buttons into one div. and I want to be center, right? So I'm creating the class with respect to that requirement. So I'm creating the class also center. So which is meaningful. Why? What is the purpose of the class? You should give it properly. Give it an enter, and you can copy this center class, and you can have, if it is a class, don't forget to give the dot here. You can give the tab text align center. Okay, now save it and check over here. Now it is coming center. Okay, like that you should give. So you can see here our submit button and reset button are wrapped inside the div, and it is center of the div. Text align center means to make the items in center. You can use this property, and there are different properties for the text align. Sometimes you want left, by default it is left only. Sometimes you want right side, you can give the right also, or else you can give the center also. By default the text align will be left. So these are the basic form input elements, and it will be very useful actually. This is the basic form, you can try it out. And we have so many elements in the form, like input type radio, input type email, date, range. So in HTML5 that new attributes were added. And we'll learn about the method attribute. So as I told you, to submit the data will be using this action, right? So it can be like any link that is provided by the other PHP developers or backend developers. It can be some link. Okay, and what is the type of the link? Like a request method. What is the request method you are using? Here you need to give here. We can give with the method attribute. Method is an attribute. We have to give what is the type of the method. So it specifies the HTTP method that to be used when we are submitting the data. It can be a get or it can be a post. There are different methods in HTTP, like a get, post, put, delete, update. So as of now, we are submitting the data, right? For submitting the data, we'll be using this post request. And we can use the get request also. We will see the difference in between the post and get. Okay. So the form data can be sent as a URL variables if we are sending with the get. But if you are sending with the post, right, we can't see. If you are sending the get, then the all the values we can visible in the URL. I'll show you. So you are giving the get here, right? Okay, and you are filling some data. F name, L name, mail, and here we refreshed it. No, I didn't refresh it. Now the method get is came. So now we are filling the form. F name, L name, email, agree terms and conditions, and click on register. See here, you can see whatever we typed. Gender is female, and the terms, the values also we can able to see here, right? So, but this is not the proper way, because everyone will see our data, right? Personal data. So that is not a good way. So for that reason, we can use the post method. So now we will type the post here. Post, and value also we can give the value attribute for the text. By default, we'll give it as F name. Okay, instead of writing each every time, we'll give the value here. L name. Okay, value terms. So my terms I'll give. If the session ends, right, please try to rejoin. If anyone is like not able to join, we'll continue tomorrow. If all are available, we'll continue for another half an hour. My terms. Okay, save it. Now I am changing the method as post. First I will show you the get. after adding the value over here. Okay, now I'm selecting all the things. I'm clicking on register. So here you can see here gender, my terms, so appending like this. Okay, now we'll use the post method here. Post. Now I'm filling all the details and I'm clicking on register. Now you can see with the post method that our personal data not appended to the URL. So that is the main difference. With the get, all the data will be visible in the URL, but with the post the data won't be visible. So and post also it is secure also. So we will see the differences between the get and post. This is the HTTP methods to submit the data. So what is the difference between the get and post? So get means it appends the data, form data to the URL in name and value pairs. As I showed you, with the name and value pairs, the data will be appended. And we should not use this get to send the sensitive data. Means our personal data, if you are submitting that, we should not use. So, and the length also in the get, it was restricted, like up to 2000 plus characters only we can send, more not more than that. Up to limit also there, only 2000 characters. Okay, and it is useful when the form submissions, like if you want to bookmark the result as well, that time only use of get. Other than that, don't use a get. And good, like get is good for non-secure data. Like if you are sending the in you can go in the Google, you can see, right, the search links. So there you can see the search terms. So that is useful for the SEO. So that purpose you can use the get. If it is like not personal, then you can use this get. And if you are using the sensitive data, don't use of get. And we'll see the post request. So as I shown you, this form data inside the body cannot be visible in the URL. And no size also, no size limit also. You can send how much you need.